You are welcome to our second session of the foundations of basics of digital ministry. And today we are going to be looking at the second step. Like I shared when we were having our orientation, we talked about the fact that these sessions keep on building on one another. We talked about why you need to set your goals, or it being the first step. If you want to do digital ministry, you need to set up your goal. Yeah, we have some people joining us. We shall welcome them. Philip, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for keeping time and for coming. And we are live on YouTube. I usually want to have that session also live streamed so that people who are not able to join us, or those who join us late, or those who get problems with Zoom can connect anytime on YouTube and watch. So anytime you need to maybe refer to what we talked about, you can, I always share the links after sessions, so you'll find it there. But I'm glad that you joined. Charles, you're also welcome. How are you?
I'm fine.
All right, I'm glad that you're here. And I think we are going to do a recap as we wait for other people to join us. We'll just begin with the recap. Darius, you're welcome. And we talk about what we shared last Thursday, and then also how it went for you to set your own goal. So I'm going to begin with Philip. Since he was the first here, you can share with us how far are you on that journey? Have you set your own goal? How is it going for you? Philip, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Let me
Yes,
hope
please.
you could hear me well.
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the training, and I tried. And I had to sit and make my goals for my digital ministry tentatively. I think it is something that I can share with you briefly right now
Please go
as we wait
ahead.
for other colleagues. See my notebook here.
Is your video on?
Sorry,
Is your video on?
my video.
Oh, I heard you say something about the notebook. I thought you were going to show it to us.
No, I just wrote it down. I have not typed it.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. So just a moment.
as Philip as he continues to check for things, Charles and Darius, you'll be preparing to share with us if you came up with any goals or your experience thus far. Because on what you came up with is what we are going to talk about today is going to build on what you worked on. So I hope your notebooks are very close. Yes. Maybe Charles, you can share as we wait for Philip. Are you ready to share?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time to invest in us. Yeah, we did meet with my other team to look at the questions and try answer them. Came up with some answers based on our vision and objectives for digital ministry in our organization at large. Yeah, we may not have probably done it so perfect, but we hope we have tried to do within what we think in our organization. Okay. I don't know if I could just mention what we came up with as the goal. It's too wordy, but we are trying to break it down, but at least be somehow shortened. But we also went ahead and discussed after we had come up with the plan, not the goal. We went ahead, then answer the questions as you had shared the photo to see if our goal, how our goal fits within the questions. So I don't know which one should I share because I'm not sure.
You can share briefly about the goal.
Okay, briefly about the goal, just because I didn't figure it alone, I will just read it the way we wrote it. Like I'm saying, it's too wordy. You will forgive us for that. We are still working on it to make sure it's a bit shortened. Yeah, so we wrote that our goal would be we, the Uganda Healthcare Christian Fellowship, will engage healthcare professionals through faith-based content shared on YouTube and X, including daily devotion, scriptures, and weekly videos that promote effective Christian witnessing in the workplace and community. We aim to integrate spiritual and medical care and foster transformation within healthcare setting. Our goal is to achieve meaningful engagement, reaching at least 25 healthcare professionals who actively interact, seek training, and grow in witnessing skills by December 2026. Yeah, like I said, it's too wordy, but we are looking forward to make it somehow shorter. But the questions, as we discussed the other questions, they really helped us to really look at critically and realize if really we had followed the smart specific and all that. Yeah, so that is it from my team. They watched the video also, like shared on our platform, but we are so sorry one of us had committed to be part. He registered Unfortunately, we have another training that is going on for healthcare workers. Yeah, so he's not really able to continuing with this, but I hope he's getting the information. Maybe officially he shall join other cohorts that will be coming by. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, it is wordy. As you are reading, as trying to hear whether it is specific, whether it is measurable. Yeah, I think I had some numbers there. Whether it has a time frame. Yeah, it was specific on whom you want to engage with, and where. Although we are going to delve with that deeper into that. Like you will realize today we'll delve deeper into the audience, because I think I had something about the care workers. Yeah, and I think a goal shouldn't be that long. Like you've said, you'll keep on panel beating it so that when someone asks you, you can say it in one sentence, and someone can actually see everything there. And of course, to be honest with you, it's difficult. You can't have it very perfectly. Like from one setting, you realize that you keep on, as you do more campaigns, as you do ministry online, you figure out that it becomes easier and easier for you to panel beat these things. Yeah, but at least I'm glad that you took that initiative to work on it, and I'm happy that you're doing it with other people. You can actually share these videos with them. They're like a 1.5 hours or 1 hour, so that they can follow up and also learn by themselves. But I'm glad that you're taking that initiative to share with other people in your team. Philip, you're welcome back. Would you love to share with us? Did you find your notebook?
I believe you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
You know where I am, it is raining and I think my network will be disturbing, but it's fine. Yeah, we sat with some few friends of mine at church, and when we are going through the video, and then we came up with some small skeleton, but we were thinking big. So this is how our overall goal was, or the target was, that if by December 31st, 2026, I would love to build a consistent TikTok and YouTube ministry that we shall be posting 30 minutes gospel message per week, and with the aim of at least empowering 100 teenagers and young adults in discipleship pathway, and where the SMART goals, our target was that specific was we were preaching Christ to teenagers and those young adults to this minutes message that we shall be sharing on TikTok and YouTube, focusing on raising the next generation for Christ, where we help them to identify who they are, their purposes, their callings, and then also that discipleship. And then we went further to the measurable, and where we thought of something like this, and we said, yeah, really those messages, those 30 minutes messages that we can be uploading, basically we saw that between 8 to 9 messages that we can be sharing per month. And then averagely we saw maybe like 100 TikTok views and 50 YouTube views per those sermon per month, at least 10 youths per month feeding the response WhatsApp to forms to prayers and salvation, and also other discipleship platform as we shall be putting forth. So that is the measurable part of it that we saw that as our goals is. And then we saw, is it, how achievable is it? we realize that youth are already highly active on TikTok and YouTube. Even smaller churches, we know that, even meaning that even a smaller churches or some person who's just beginning the digital ministry can grow through this consistent posting and these short sermons, making it in a clip form. Not basically maybe a 30 minutes, but on top of the 30 minutes, then you can make these short clips. And that is how we thought of. Then when we went to the relevancy of our goals, directly we are serving our calling to raising the next generation. And through this digital evangelism and our discipleship. And then, with the time bound, that's why we say, yes, the month of March, month of preparation, and we said April to December 31st, 2026, we can have a success, but we divided it in this format that we can have that period of April to June, and then at the end of June, review and then see whether it is workable or it is not workable. Then from July to December, then there we can now make our full digital means and seeing the outcome. And then we thought of the content strategy, which briefly, that's we say that now at least twice each week, and then turning 10 minutes preaching into both a full message and multiple short clips, basically for TikToks. And then because we realize that youth, they respond best to 15, maybe to less than 1 minute, you find that they can respond very faster to it than staying in a longer sermon. So briefly, that's the small skeleton that we thought of, and we are still working on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip, for sharing. I'm also glad to hear that you're here learning and you're passing it on to the team and you're actually watching the videos. That is really encouraging. I think even with you and Charles, what I'm picking is that you really went ahead, because I've heard you talk about the content strategy. You've talked about the social media platforms that you are looking at working with. So I really like the fact that with our roadmap, you already have like specific things that you're going to be doing there. But the most interesting bit is that as we move ahead, you guys are saying you have foundations, you have a foundation that we are building on. You have the skeleton, so now we can put flesh to it, because like today, we are really going to delve deeper into knowing your audience. Faith, you're welcome. And sorry, Faith shared with me her goals. I woke up to them this morning, but I didn't respond to her. I just sent her a message, but at least I know she also worked on something. So today we are going to look at now. Yeah, I can hear your goals. I can hear your goals. I can hear the audience. So Charles is looking at as health workers. Then Philip, you're looking at the next gen. Faith is looking at young children is it 0 to 12, Faith? I can't remember well, but she's looking at children and working with Bible stories. Yours is a pathway, a discipleship pathway. Charles, I think it's more of integrating. Charles, it's integrating the gospel into the health, like the health.
Yes, basically we want to look at healthcare workers being able to integrate spirituality and healthcare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I can hear we have different audiences and we are having different goals at the end of the day why we want to go online. So today, as we will talk about audiences, I'm going to encourage you now to go deeper, and also don't be very hasty to to choose okay, I think it will be an evaluation. Like Philip, you talked about YouTube and X and TikTok and X, yeah. So let's look at, okay, how is my audience? Is my audience that I'm talking about, is it still applicable, or do I need to go deeper? And when we reach on the social media strategy, you will understand, or you will confirm whether the social media platforms you've talked about, like YouTube, X, are applicable to your audience or to the goal that you want to achieve. So we just keep working with the skeletons that you have. And for the interest of time, we are going to begin. Peace and Darius, you can share with me anytime. You can share with me what you came up with. I would love to look at that, but at least I'm very glad that most of us, or if not all of us, at least have something to work with. So like I've shared, today we are going to talk about knowing your audience, or understanding your audience. Because right now, you know what you want to do. You want to target health workers and helping them to integrate spirituality in their work, if I can say. Philip, you want to help, you're working with next geners, and for Faith, she's talking about children. We have an idea of our audience, but we need to know and understand our audience for us to be able to do ministry with them. And before I begin, I'm going to pray and then we will continue. Lord, we just want to say thank you for the 5 brought us. This is our 3rd session, and I'm really encouraged to hear from my brothers how they are not just taking this lightly, but they have other team members that they are going back to, and they are working together on this. It shows how determined they are to go into the digital space for you. I pray, oh God, that you'll be with us in this session. I pray that you will break down everything that we are talking about so that it can make sense to us, but also can be applicable in our context. We pray for good connectivity, because the number of people are talking about challenges that they are having with their connectivity. Abba, Father, I pray that you will stabilize it. For those who are having challenges to join, that they'll be able to join. I pray, oh God, that you will lead us in this session so that we will learn and understand together. I want to bless you and acknowledge your presence amidst us in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, just a second. Today, many people are having challenges with their connectivity. As we share, please just keep people in prayer so that we can have a beautiful time and everyone is able to join us. Yeah. Peace. Is someone saying something? To our 2nd session of the foundations of basics. Sorry, I think I was playing a video. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I can hear you.
And you can see my video? Sorry, you
Yes,
can see my
the
slides.
screen. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So today we are going to talk about how to know or understanding your audience. And I want to ask you a question. When you look at that girl on that photo, what comes in your mind? People who are online also, you can text. I remember Faith saying she was feeling very lonely. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if you're on YouTube, you can also give your input. But when you look at that lady in an orange dress, what comes to your mind when you look at her? I can, anyone would love to share? Charles, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you love to just you don't have to overthink it. What comes in your mind? You can tell that she must be like in her 20s. She's not very young. Just what comes in your mind when you look at her.
Yeah, I don't know, but she looks like staring at something, like you had said. Her age bracket may be probably a youth, not again, not so young, and yeah, it's hard really to judge, but to me, I think I would say she's anyway. Let's have someone else maybe come
Charles,
past.
Charles, you're overthinking. You're overthinking because I think when you look at that lady, you realize that she's sad from her face. She's a stylish lady. She has a bag. Maybe she had gone for a dinner or something. But what I'm trying to pull out is the fact that when we are talking about our audiences, it is more than just saying, I want to reach out to social workers, I want to reach out to health workers or Gen Zs or young children or women or what. You go deeper. And by going deeper, you need to know the person that you're talking about. Not just in general, but who are they actually? When you say a next gener, who is that next gener? So you need to know and understand your audience. When you look at this girl, you should be able to understand whatever is going on in her mind, in her heart, in her surrounding, and in her life deeply for you to be able to have a connection with them online. And we can look at this from Jesus's example. When you look at the story in John chapter 9, because of time, we might not read it. But when you look at John chapter 9 and John chapter 4, John chapter 4 is when Jesus met the Samaritan woman. And I will encourage us to go there and study. Maybe it's I can take a screenshot of this and we take some time to, each one of us, you take some time to go through it and learn. But you realize that Jesus went deeper, and he went deeper and had a conversation with this lady, like the Samaritan woman. And even from the story, we get to know more about the woman. We get to know about her, how she had many husbands. And then also it is asking us, how did Jesus engage with this person? You realize that he used just, is it like a metaphor or about water, from the water that she was drawing? He didn't go directly to preach to her and tell her about God and the internal, no, he found a way of engaging with her from her own life, or something that she could relate with easily. So he talked about just asking her, can you give me some water? And then that sparked off a conversation between them. And we know how these people, the Samaritan woman responded to Jesus, talked about like so many things. And then we know the outcome from their conversation. So there is a lot to learn even just from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ himself, that when he was doing ministry, he understood his audience. When it was Pharisees, there is a way he talked with them. When it was a woman, a Samaritan woman, there was a way he spoke with her. When it was a hungry people, he knew I have to first feed these guys before, I talk to them. When it came to his disciples, he knew how to talk with them and what message to give them. So somehow Jesus knew his audience, and from that he knew which message to pass on, or which method or which vessel, medium to use to reach out to them. And we can see all that like with the people that he engaged with. You realize that he didn't use the same he didn't use the same examples, he didn't use the same medium or the same method. For some he fed, for some he performed miracles, for some he rebuked, for some like there is a way he engaged with everyone depending on who they were or who they were. So I will encourage you to just take time and you go through those scriptures. Oh, my, just a minute. Somehow my screen is not moving, so maybe let me first stop sharing and then I share again. I hope it will work. Oh, okay. Not so sure why. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think it is now fine. I'll go back and share my screen again. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, I really hope it will move this time around. I'm not so sure why it wasn't. So when we talk about understanding our audience or the ministry that we will be doing, we need to understand that we are talking about being audience. We need to have audience-centered thinking. And this is a strategic approach in ministry that prioritizes the needs, interests, and experiences of your audience. And we need to remember that it is not about apps or websites or anything, but it is about people. Most of the times, especially as preachers or ministers, you find that you go out. Remember when we talked about our goal? We go out with our goal and want to bring people into our goal so that they can help us achieve our goal. But what we need to understand is that, yes, we have a goal, but it should be audience-centered. That you're going to be prioritizing, not like for me, I have to be reporting every month or every day about what I'm doing. And then I'm very passionate about young people and I want them to stop doing these bad things and I want them to be nice and give their lives to Christ. It is really not about that. What I need to be doing is actually prioritizing their needs, their interests, their experiences so that I can meet them like we have a sweet spot where we'll meet one another. They have needs, they have interests, they have experiences. And so when I come in, I'm coming in into their world to give a solution to them. And of course, that solution is all centered around Jesus. So it is about them, it is not about us. I have a passion for women, but that shouldn't be the goal that I'm going to show, like, just share from what I feel like everyone needs to hear. Right now, most of the times people who are, especially old people, they always think that young people are bad, they are straying away. So even when you're talking with them, you're just talking with them as if, you're pumping things in their mind and you're just hoping that they will understand. But sometimes that is not what they need. Sometimes that is not even their interest. Sometimes that is not what they are struggling with. So we have to first understand them. I can give an example like for Philip. I don't know if he has joined again, but for Philip, he's talking about next geners and you're talking about giving them discipleship pathways or even just sharing messages with them. But are those the messages that they need? Is the audience, the specific audience that you are targeting, is that the message that they need, or it is the message we want to give them? I hope that makes sense. I don't want to dwell so much on it, but just remember that our approach should be prioritizing people's needs, their interests, their experiences, their challenges, their struggles, beyond what we can or what we want to give them. You know them, then you bring a solution to them. And then, okay, I'm not so sure why my screen is not moving. Unfortunately, I don't have people who are tech savvy closer to me, like Darius or Charles. So I'll see what I can do manually. Yeah. So let me reshare my screen. What we need to know or understand is that everyone is on a journey. And that guides the way we will be talking with people. It is very difficult, actually. It's easier said than done. But what we need to understand is that everyone, the people that we are going to be reaching out to, they are on a journey. And if you can even understand, if you can come up with a persona to the point where you can define where they are at in life, I think there you can have one. So even as we go to people, to young people, to, let me say like Charles, you understand that it is not like you're starting from scratch with these people. There is somewhere they are at. Maybe they've been exposed to the gospel. Maybe they know how to integrate something, or they are struggling. They don't want to hear about Jesus. So even as you go deeper into understanding your audience, we need to keep that in mind, that it's not like you're finding them at zero. No, they are somewhere. They are somewhere. And sometimes it is upon us to figure out where that somewhere is for them, so that you can give them something that is meaningful to them. I can give an example that most of us, I think I can give an example of just myself. I've watched some TikTok videos, and sometimes you find that they are talking about your problem, but yeah, you listen and you're like, no, you're talking to me, not in the exact way I think where I am at. So you scroll. It's like they are about to hit the real spot, but you're like, no, there is something missing. So many times it's because maybe where they are talking from, it's like, no, they are there, and for you, you're here. So you scroll. So for you to capture someone's attention, it means that you're actually speaking into their situation. You're speaking into their life, where they are at in their lives at that specific time. In case you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put it in the comment section, and then hopefully I will look at it and I answer. So the other thing that we need to do is to shift our perspective. I think I've just talked about this. Yeah, that instead of you saying, come and watch my video and what, you're like offering something to them. I have a video, I want to share it with you. I hope it ministers to you. You've understood where they are at in life. You're hoping that it will find them where they are at, even as you interact with them, you know. So it is really not about us and what we want to give them. It is about where they are at in life, and you're hoping to come alongside them. And this is something that I love, and I think I've alluded to it. I don't know if you see I hope you can see my screen with the circles. There is the audience needs. I can give an example of Next Geners. Right now, as Life Ministry Uganda, we are running a campaign called Who Sees You? Just a minute, please. We are running a campaign called Who Sees You? And we are targeting young people. I remember actually the people who came up with that name are on this call. If you see Peace and Darius and some other young people that came in our room, in our office at office. We were talking about a campaign we want to make, and we were talking about how we want to address identity issues among students and what. And the more we asked them questions, they helped us to understand the real challenge or the real cause of all the problems that for us we are focusing on. And that is how we came up with a whole bit of Who Sees You, because as they shared, we realized that the real need or the sole problem to everything is because people are struggling with identity. They are struggling to be seen. They want to be seen and belong. And, so as they shared, the Who Sees You campaign, that is how it was birthed. But for me and my colleagues, we were thinking about other things. And because now we know that that is the challenge that many young people are facing, we are coming up with solutions to that. So there is an audience, there are audience needs, definitely. The audience needs is, in this case for our campaign, is they want to be seen. But sometimes they want to be seen and they're looking for that attention from wrong places. They are going on social media undressing, they are going on social media dancing anyway, they are going on social media doing a lot of things, all in the name of just getting likes so they can be seen, but they are looking for it in wrong places, So as a team, we have to bring what we offer, and then there is that sweet spot between what they need and what we offer. And when you get that sweet spot, then that is when your ministry becomes meaningful. Because I think if we had come from the other angle that we were planning, it wasn't really going to make sense, because we would be talking things that are really not making sense to young people. Right now, we have a number of young people who are saying, we want to come and share our stories. When they see their colleague featuring on our podcast or in our videos, they're like, oh, I also want to come and share my story, because they've seen a colleague. So at least we believe that this is going to be a movement that will grow even as we get feedback from other people, from especially young people that we are targeting, because they were telling, yeah, this video, no, the way it ends, it's not making sense. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I need to go and change. So there has to be that sweet spot, and that sweet spot happens when what you're offering is meeting the people's needs. And so I will go back to us, like when you say that you want to reach next geners, what is their need? Leave alone what you can offer them. Begin with what their need is. And then let's figure out what you can offer them. I hope I'm making sense and you're able to, just now start evaluating the goals that you had come up with. Remember, it's not about what you want to offer them first. It is about what they actually need. What is exactly that need that that person has that you want to come alongside them? I'm really sorry, my screen just keeps on getting stuck. And we shall just, but we are about to finish, so we'll keep on doing a back and forth. Is what I'm sharing making sense to us? Can I at least hear someone say, I'm confused, or you're throwing more light to what I was planning? Is it making sense to us? Especially if you've already come up with your goals. Okay, I see Darius saying it is. I hope it is to all of us, because this is where if you miss this point, then it becomes difficult. It really becomes difficult for you to see the numbers or to hit the goal as you'd want it to happen. Okay. Okay, let me first see if there is any question. Okay, thank you, Peace. All right, so we'll continue to where do you start? You might be wondering, okay, you're talking about needs, you're talking about what? The question would be, where do I start as an individual? You need to first of all define your audience. Who is your audience? my audience, and the who goes deeper to yes, we talk about profession, talk about their age, you talk about where they live, you talk about are they urban or are they local people? Urban setting, are they English speaking? Are they Luganda speaking? Are they women? Are they men? Are they both? Who are they? Are they just go deeper? The more you actually go deeper, the more you're going to hit it like on the head, like whew, you will get it right the more you go deeper. So first of all, define your audience. So like for us in our campaign, we had to define our audience to know that we are targeting university, high school, and young professionals. That was when we began, but right now we've zeroed down to high school students and university students. So you have to define, like you go to, are they teenagers? Are they the rich kind? Are they the planned kids? Are they what? And then you have to build empathy. What do they care about? Like for us, we are saying these guys, they need someone to see them, you know? They are struggling sexually, they are struggling with addictions, they are struggling with a lot of things. And sometimes that is what we are focusing on, and you come and tell them, hey, stop doing this, stop taking drugs, stop showing, not knowing that the drugs that they are taking, it's as a result of something. There is a root cause. Because they don't have a belonging, they are struggling with a lot of things, so they find solace in the drugs that they are taking. So sometimes we miss the point when you're just focused on the drugs and not the real problem. But then you have to go deeper of, if you're talking about young people, what are the audience that person you want to focus on, like this lady on this photo. If you look at her, you will tell that this girl loves maybe fashion, she's into music, she's into what, and so what do these people care about? And then you need to go deep and do research and refine it to know what can you learn about these people. And as we are doing this, you need to understand that when you're building a persona, this is, if you're in the digital space, you hear building a persona. When you're building a persona, you can build so many personas, but you need to get one, like define this person to the core. Can say if it's a lady, define them to the core. If it's a high school student that you want to focus on, you can even go to where do they stay? Where do they stay? Do they stay in an apartment? Do they stay in Katanga? Do they stay in a ghetto? Which music do they love listening to? Which movies do they love listening to? What makes them happy? What makes them sad? Whom do they look up to? What are their fears? You understand? So you have to go deeper to define who your target audience is. That when you walk on a campus, if you are, let's say you want to reach out to young people like Philip, when you're at church and you're in a congregation and you look around, you look at this person, you can say that is the person I'm focusing on. If they're in a crowd, you will look at them and say, that is the person, and you'll be able to identify them. Why? Because you've gone deeper to define who they are. I don't know if this is making sense to us, but that is what it means to know and understand your audience. So even before, and you will realize that before you actually say, I want to choose TikTok or I want to do YouTube, it's until you've understood your audience. Because sometimes you'll say that I want to reach out to young people on YouTube. But the more you understand, the more you go deeper, you will realize that, man, the young people that you want to reach out to, they are actually not on YouTube. They don't even have phones. Well, If you want to do digital ministry, we might maybe need to find them on radio. You know, I was really surprised that recently I told someone I wanted them to do something online, to do something like volunteer when we were launching a podcast. I wanted them to be like a community manager. And I talked with them, they are young people. And they told me I would do it, but I don't have data for, like, YouTube takes a lot of data. I'm like, wait. Okay, it really hit me to understand that, well, sometimes we take things for granted because you have a monthly bundle, you're on Wi-Fi, and you think everyone finds YouTube very easy to watch, but they tell you, man, no, it's expensive for me to watch those videos. But sometimes it's even cheaper because if you're on TikTok, it will run and eat more data. So the more you define who they are, like maybe I can give an example of Faith. She wants to reach out to young people. So if children, but in your head, the more you go deeper, you will realize that these children, their parents don't trust them with TikTok. And maybe they might trust them with not any other app, but YouTube, especially YouTube for children. So what does that mean? It means that when you're coming to your social media strategy, because and then maybe you're saying the children that you're going to be targeting are planned, in Uganda we say planned children. So if they are planned children, then it shows where their parents are, and you know that the parents are at work during this time. So what do I do? That means maybe I will say, let me go for YouTube, but then also the videos I'll be working on might have to seem like this and this and this, so that I get this child's attention. And that will also inform the time that you're going to be uploading, because you know that the child I'm focusing on is like this and this and this, and that this is what they care about. They love colors. I hope it makes sense. So the more you go deeper, don't just get, the more you understand who they are, the more it will help you to define the other things that we are going to be talking about, which social media account, which social media platforms, and all those other things. Let me just go to our next slides. I think I've talked about the segmentation bit of you need to be more specific. When you talk about young people, define them by age, or define them by age and define them by what they like, define them by where they stay and all that. So I want to let me see the time. Yeah, we have a few. Let me just share this. It is a persona. Most of us have heard us talk about this. The app called God Tools. And let me just share. Let me see if it's coming. Yes, I hope you can see. So this, if you've ever used the God Tools, this is the persona that they used. Yeah. It was a lady called Bahati. She's an Ethiopian in her late 20s. Some people even go ahead to put a photo there. And this girl wants to reach others, but she doesn't know where to start. So what are her characteristics? She clicks on an ad, share my faith on mobile phone. She's open to learning, no trainer or discipler. She knows other Christians. Her goals, she wants to learn to share faith. She wants to touch one life. She wants to give expression to what she already believes. And then her pain points, she doesn't know how to initiate conversations, share the gospel, bring people to a decision. She's shy, she lacks confidence, and she has no previous or ongoing training or equipping. But remember, Bahati, she wants to reach others. She won't be, even in her being shy and in her not having a discipler and not having a trainer, not having anything else, Bahati, she wants to reach others, but she doesn't know how. So that is how Campus Crusade for Christ, because of people like Bahati, they created an app called God Tools. And it has changed face over the years. From 2020 to 2026, where we are right now, it has changed faces, and they keep on adding resources according to Bahati's needs and interests, because most of us who have used this, you might not know, some of us Bahati. I find it easy to use the Go tools. It has the 4 spiritual laws. Because if you have it, you realize that you don't have to say many things. You just ask someone, have you heard of the 4 spiritual laws? And then you start sharing your faith with someone. And it helps you to lead them to Christ. Even the prayer is there. So if it's someone who is shy or they don't know what to do, how to share their faith, it is there. The training is there. She didn't have anyone to train, so they had to put resources. If someone said they can learn how to use this app, it is so simple that you don't even need training in how to use it, because everything is there, including how to share every tool that is there. And so they keep on improving it because, well, Bahati is leading people to Christ, but maybe she might need to disciple people. So they are building this up and keep on improving it. But it began with a persona. So that is what we all need to do, that we will need to go deeper to understand the pain points, the goals, the desires of all these people that we want to reach, so that we can build even content and strategies for them. And the caution is that people do not always know what they need. Look for the need behind the need. Like I shared already, some young people take drugs or do a lot of things, go clubbing, sleep around, not because that is their problem. There is an underlying problem. I remember there was a time when I was sharing with someone and I was telling them, most of the people that I share with are men. When I have a problem, I share with men, not ladies. And sometimes older, like people, like older people. So I was just telling them, do I have daddy issues? How come every like 80 or 70% I'm going to share with a man first when I'm not okay? And I'm not talking about like boyfriend, girl, boyfriend, husband, what? No, I'm talking about like an uncle, a spiritual father, a mentor, a colleague, a friend, a peer who is a man. And then we started talking about it, and I realized, well, my need is different. It's not like really man, but I'm looking for something that men easily offer than women do. So many times, if we didn't go deep, I was going to just go away thinking, I think I have daddy issues or whatnot. No, but people always have. There is always a need behind a need. So even as you talk about maybe reaching young people, or reaching babies, you need to know, okay, what is that? What is their need? What is the need of this child? You know, when you look at, I've seen, I don't want to say them since we are online, but there are certain programs for children that have been developed with an intent of keeping a baby hooked to the screen. And because the more the baby is hooked to the screen, the more people are making money. But they are, and the more they build this, they know that these days a parent just wants to give their child a phone, and the video won't be a video of 1 hour, so that as the child watches it, it will allow the parent to do something. People are very, very intentional about whatever they are doing. So even as you talk about reaching young people, you've defined this young person to the core. I know what they like and all those things. Please go ahead and look for the need behind that need. Like my sister, Peace, you want to speak to girls. What is their actual need that they have? Or why are they struggling with these things that they are struggling with? What is the root cause? And then deal with that. The more you deal with that, you'll find that these symptoms are being dealt with. And I think even with our campaign, with the young people that we've talked with, the more you tackle the identity issues, these other things that we wanted to talk about, sexual purity, addictions, and whatnot, they will be dealt away with, because you're dealing with the core. It's identity issues that are causing them to do these other things. the more they find their identity in Christ and they are rooted, and you will help them to go deeper, then these other things, they will be dealt with. So take time to research and define your audience. As you can see, it's not as easy as it may look. So as you talk about healthcare workers, go deeper to define who is this healthcare worker? How is their working? How are their working hours like? What makes them happy? What makes them sad? If it's a Christian, if you want them to integrate the gospel well, what is their real pain? Or why should they actually do that, you know? So you need to really take time to define your audience. And so in summary, audience-centered thinking enables you to build meaningful relationships with your audience, and it fosters innovation, growth, and long-term success. I think I talked about this more, that it will help you to connect with your audience. You've watched some clips. There is a reason as to why you watch some clips online and you just scroll. You're not their audience. Trust me. You watch a video, it has 1 million views, and you're like, what did people like about this? The truth is, you're not their audience. You know, those who are their audience, they are hooked. They like what this person is offering because it's meeting their need, you know, it's meeting where they are at. So you need to, when you define who your audience is, it will help you to build meaningful relationships with them, and you will speak into their lives. You will speak to their heart. You will provide content in a format, like the format, the medium, and everything. It will be connecting with them. But then also it will foster your innovation, because then that means that whatever you're doing is not just from you, you're thinking about this person. It's like when you're gifting an individual, sometimes I think that's where the whole bit of love languages came from, you know. But when you're gifting someone, sometimes I'm just learning about it. Sometimes I'm gifting them according to what I love, not what they love. I had a friend, I sometimes I think I love gifting, really close friends. So he's one person whom you will give something and he's like, yeah, thank you, but he'll just put it there. And he helped me understand, when you're gifting me, gift me what I need or what really makes sense to me. So you have to think, you're like, this guy doesn't have a fridge, they don't have a screen, they want to do this, then bring that, but not, oh, I love shirts, so let me buy them this shirt. They won't. If they love t-shirts, give them t-shirts. So that is the same thing, that when you've defined your audience and you've got to know them, then you will do innovations, or you give them content on a platform that makes sense to them. It will not just be about us saying, we want to do YouTube, we want to do X, we want to do TikTok. No, it will be about saying, the children are not on TikTok because the parents might not give them the phones. On TikTok, they need to scroll, you know. So I might have to do a long form video of 30 minutes for this child and put flowers if they are these young people. Make sure that I do whatever to make sure that this video is attractive to these young children that I'm focusing on. So you realize that the more you understand your audience and you've gone deeper, you've segmented it, you know the kind of person that you're focusing on, then you will be able to build content, you'll be able to speak messages, come up with messages that make sense to them, come up with a social media strategy and content strategy that makes sense to them. And that is how you're going to succeed. Now, let me put a disclaimer. Me who is sharing with you, these things are not so easy to define. But I'm going to also encourage you, don't wait. And you're like, I cannot begin until I have figured out what my audience is. No. Begin now, begin somewhere, and then keep on defining, keep on refining your things. Because if you're to wait, my friend, it might take you years. And sometimes even the content that you put as you begin, it will help you to know, because you put up this video, you see it not going viral. You put up video, you see it getting 1,000 likes. You put this one, you realize this. The more you put up videos, like your first 30 videos, they are going to help you to know the people that are watching your content, this is what they are consuming, and then you can maintain that pace. That is how people build their audiences. You find that they've tried everything, they've tried this one, they've tried, and then they put up one thing, and another related thing, it goes, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to stick with this. And that is how they start going viral, you know? Yes, yeah, this you're very, very right. You know, sometimes you don't, and it's making sense to the 1 million, you know? So don't wait until you've understood. At least now, like, let me say Faith, she knows she wants to reach out to young children using Bible stories. You begin. The more you share the Bible stories, you will see those that are making sense to people. You will watch the patterns, you watch the analytics, and that will help you now to continue knowing that, oh, here I'm like I put up videos, short clips of scriptures on my YouTube. I realized that when I'm talking about scriptures that are talking about challenges and giving hope to people, and especially those that are inspiring hope and giving hope to people, they get more likes. So I maintained that all the scriptures, most of the scriptures I share there, they are to give people hope. They are to give people hope, because anyway, we all need that hope in our lives. So it helped me to maintain that, you know. So just don't wait. Start somewhere, and your audience is going to guide you. Some would even tell you, if you get engagements, they will tell you, this is what I need, this is what we need. And then you listen and you do, because remember, it's not about us, it's about meeting their needs. Yeah, that is true that some people pay, some people really pay to push their videos, but there are those that do not pay. I can give an example. Okay, this is not Bible related, but my sister has a YouTube channel where she talks about poetry. She did one video, I think, about like something, and it went viral. It has over 500K views. And the more she did videos in that line, organic things and all that, they always went viral. But when she talked about things, yeah, 1K views and what, but the moment she went the organic route, and there's also another lady, her videos are not well edited, they are not how, but the moment she went this line, you see that they are moving. So yes, it's true that some people pay to get likes and what, but some people don't, but it's because they've gotten a sweet spot. Their audience needs this and they've given it to them. And so people keep on watching, And it's the same thing with us. We can learn that from them. Yes, you can pay for your videos to go, like if you have the money, it is allowed. Please try that. Algorithms will help you to push your videos to the right people. But if you don't want to do that and you want to grow organically, it's going to be about what your audience needs, and then what you're giving them, it's meeting their need. I think I've over talked about that. I can't overemphasize it. I hope it makes sense to us, and I hope you can find a way of breaking that down. And like I've said, it's not easy, but the more you put up videos, the more you put up posts or blogs, the more you will see what people are engaging with. And if you're very flexible, you can maintain that so that you offer. And remember that for us, at the end of the day, everything that we are doing, we want to lead people to Christ. You know, so find a way of tuning your video to the audience's need. And at the end of the day, you're pointing them back to Jesus. I always tell people that even with fashion, I'm an advocate for that you don't need to be preachy to lead people to Jesus. You can talk about fashion, you can talk about cooking, you can talk about cleaning, and still point people to Jesus. So if I'm focusing on ladies and I have ladies who just love talking about fashion. I'm going to talk about fashion, but at the end of the day, I will still find a way of pointing them back to Jesus, lead them to Christ, and actually have a discipleship group that just started with talking about fashion. If you're a man, talk about cars and what men like. When we talk about digital ministry, you need to spark conversations with people. It's not like you have to preach. No, you can do gaming, you can do whatever. I'm just thinking go out of the box. You can do that and still point people to Jesus. So you don't have to really be preaching. You don't have to do sermons. You don't have to do only all those things. No. What you need is a conversational starter. You can go that route if God leads you that way. You need a conversational starter that will bring engagement, and through that engagement, you're channeling people to Jesus. Yeah, and maybe when we are talking about content creation, the person who will share with us, I want to bring someone who can talk about content creation very deeply and who understands it. So when we are talking about that, maybe it's something that they can go deeper on. But thank you so much for watching. Our time is fast spent. It's 13 minutes past 8. I don't know if there is any question. Let me see. Thank you. Is it Job online? Yeah, thank you so much for that encouragement and for your comment. I think I responded to all the chats. Do we have any question, or we can close it here because of time? If you have any questions, please, you can reach out to me and I'm going to help answer. But of course, I might not answer 100%. Just keep on posting. Your audience is it's going to help you. Yeah, it will help you to know where you need to concentrate. Yeah, I think we'll close it here. We've talked about our goals, and now we are understanding our audience. Let's see where we are going to go next week. And like I shared, they are building on each other. They're building on each other. Don't wait to be perfect. Just begin somewhere and be consistent, yeah? And we'll see what God will do in and through us. All right, I'm going to just pray and then we will conclude.